as you guys know, I have been posting on TikTok fairly recently, and I have been kind of enjoying myself a little bit because it is a little bit funny to see how toxic the place is. But I found out recently also that if you want to get more people to look at your art on there, you also have to comment on other people's art because it rewards you for staying in your niche, right? So that's a little bit different from YouTube, and I thought that was interesting. So I was literally doing that. I saw somebody talking about AI art, and she was talking about how the person who drew that elf, the same elf that is on Cat and Chat, I'm sure that you guys seen that one video with the elf and the person tracing AI, right? Or coloring over AI and pretending to do a process, right? So this is a new process I've seen. So while I was in the comment section, I commented and I was agreeing with somebody, and then I commented on somebody else's, and then I was like going down and I saw this person who was talking about, like, they were disagreeing with the main comment that said, you don't need to use AI in your work. And I was like, okay, well, I agree with that. Let me see what other people say, because there's a lot of comments there. And there's a man in the comments, and he was like, well, I use AI and I photo bash it together, and then I create a silhouette, and then I fill in the shapes. And I was like, that's a process. How is he doing that? I'm not gonna assume he's tracing, but it sounds like tracing to me. So I said, are you just filling in the silhouette and then tracing? And he replied with so much snark, because I don't know where he was in his art journey. I was just asking. So instead of just be a normal person, he was like, well, it seems like you have an understanding of the fundamentals, and you should probably stop working on fan art now. And the moment he said that, I knew he was a true AI bro. True AI bro. Because AI bros have a problem with fan art. They really hate fan art, and they think that if you draw fan art, you're just as bad as them using AI, because it's like the most stupidest thing, because they connect it with, well, that property doesn't belong to you, so I can benefit off of the property from AI because you're doing the same thing by drawing fan art. Okay, I understand that, but at the same time, it's a benefit for the companies that let you draw fan art. And the thing is most of the time, people who draw fan art, they don't make prints of that stuff. Some people do. I'm not saying they don't. Some people make stuff and they put it online, prints and stuff. You know, maybe that might be me someday. I don't know. But there's more people that don't do anything with the fan art they make. So it's mostly just people just want to draw characters they like, you know? So I was like, this is not the dig you think it is. And my page mostly has OG content on there, so I don't know what you're talking about. And in anger, this man goes, now, mind you, this man is 51. Doesn't he, like, okay, I am not being ageist, okay? I think unless you're like 80 years old, you're not old, okay? That's it. That's my thing. And I think at any age, you can be really stupid. But there's certain things that come with becoming older. Like at 51, do you think that you should be commenting on some girl's art and arguing with her for an entire afternoon? Don't you have a job? Don't you have kids? Don't you have a wife? Like, if he doesn't have any of those, I mean, you know, it's giving AI bro incel vibes. But I didn't say that, you know, I didn't say that to him. And I'm not going to show his information either. I'm going to show his TikToks, but I'm not going to show him because I don't want nobody to harass him or bother him, because we just had a whole afternoon of going back and forth. So he went to my TikTok page and he went through my entire TikTok thing. And on everything where I had a piece of artwork, he started numbering them, going from like 1. Every fan art he found, he numbered 1. But he was weirdly counting. He wasn't counting, like if I made 3 videos of the process, he counted them all as a different fan art. So I had 3 processes of like Tifa, and he counted the sketch, he counted the ink, he counted the coloring, all as 3 different fan arts. And so every time he would comment, I was like, it seems like you don't know how to count. This is like 1 art. That doesn't mean that you count it as multiple arts. And he continued to go through it. But the thing is what he did to try to like discount my own OG artwork, because you guys know I mostly draw like my OC content, like my world content. That's what I draw. That is all I draw. Like out of like maybe 30 30 arts, I might make 2 or 3 fan arts. Sometimes I'm just feeling it fan art. Sometimes I'm just feeling fan art. Not often, but sometimes. Now, whenever he couldn't figure out if something was from something else, he would go, I can't figure it out, it's a wash. Can't figure out, it's a wash. Or he wouldn't count it, or then he would count it as one if it was one art that I had across multiple videos. He would go, like, OG content 4, and then he goes, oh, this is the same, it can't count these 2. And I was like, wait a second, you're not counting evenly. What is your problem, right? So by that point, he got to the end, and he went to my most recent one, and it was my cyberpunk one, where I was doing my cyberpunk hot take, and he said something that was really snarky. And I'll tell you guys what he said. So on the cyberpunk thing, it was a piece of art of Judy, and I just couldn't find a good picture of Judy, so I was just using that. And he commented, this is very good art, so not you. Anyway, you lied. With about 5 exceptions, you do nothing but fan art, and that being said, you have potential. Your proportions are awful, and you need to work on your anatomy. And he said that I needed to work on my anatomy, and I need to work on so many things, and that I don't think my anatomy is too bad. I think it's okay for the most part. I could probably do work on my men, I'll be honest with you there. So I wanted to be just as petty as him, because we all know I'm a little bit petty. So I went to his channel, and I went to anything that was art, except ones where I knew he drew it by hand because it was on paper. And I went, AI traced, this person traces AI content, this person traces AI images, this person traces, and I went through all of his stuff, just like he did for me. And in response to that, he blocked me. Now, the thing is we're gonna talk about this process, because the thing is I feel like he messed with the wrong one. He messed with the wrong one. But we're gonna go look over his videos, and I feel like it's important to see what a person tracing AI content looks like, because I've noticed something. Some of these people can draw, but they're hyper realists that can't draw anything from on their own. They need something that they can just trace over, basically, or something that they can draw from. I'm not saying hyperrealism is not art, because it is, but I'm saying that some of these people have a hard time drawing something new and fresh and different, and a lot of them will draw basically AI content because they can copy it one for one. That's what it is. It's a copy one for one. And Tia Sketches was doing that a little bit and tracing a little bit, and this is what he's doing, but he did it with mechs. So we're going to look at some of his TikToks right now. And I'm not going to put the sound over it because it's a little bit silly to me. And I did ask my friend about if he could tell something was wrong with them. And he asked me, after I let him look at it for a little bit, he goes, is this AI? Because this doesn't look like these things could actually work. And I was like, yeah, they're AI. Now, his process is weird, so we're going to go look over it right now. So what he does here is he fills in the silhouette, and then he just starts adding shapes with color, not even black and white. He doesn't even try to work out what he wants it to look like. He just starts with the end result. And that is crazy, because that's not how any of this works at all. You guys know, I'm not a mech person, but mechs like this, when we're done, we're going to look, you know what, actually, we're going to look now. All right. I found something that we're just going to kind of speed through, right? I'm going to just kind of, right? So this is something from 17 years ago. This is a while ago, okay? So, I have to push this way. All right, so this was a long time ago. And this guy's working on an older version of Adobe, probably. I'm going to put this to 2 speed so we can kind of see what his process... Oh, God, Lord. Oh, God. It's only 360p. Jesus. So as you can see, he's kind of just making shapes in general. Making a bigger silhouette. And once he's done making the bigger silhouette, we're going to go to, look, it's still a silhouette for the most part. It's still pretty much a mess, but he kind of knows what he's kind of working with. You can kind of tell that this guy knows. I don't even know who this person is, but this dude has skills. The reason why I picked an old piece of artwork is because I feel that this is almost better to look at because it's using older tech, right? This guy clearly knows what he's doing. Even when he goes like, look how messy that is. That's super messy. But he knows where he wants to put things. You know, he's probably using color dodge here. We're going to go skip again to the end. And when we're near the end, look how good that looks. That looks really great. Now we're going to look at someone else who does silhouettes. Now this person here works with silhouettes. This person just, I mean, he is making a huge mess. I wonder if this is on 2 times. It is. So this is like, I could never, but I see where this is like working out because you're making shapes and then kind of trying to figure it out afterwards. So look, now he's finishing something, and see how he's actually cutting out the shapes and making things in grayscale. So where there's light and other things should be. This is kind of what I expected the other guy to be doing, right? I expected him to be doing this, right? Now, I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but you can see where he is just putting stuff in and he knows what he's talking about. I'm going to link them below. This was like a year ago. This dude's Benedict Bana. He's pretty cool. So let's go back to the other one, right? Now, as we see here, we're going to go on. We're going to look. Look, he just puts in straight color, not even knowing what the rest of it's supposed to look like. There's no way that he didn't use AI to some degree. There's no way. So we're going to look at another one of his pieces. I also wanted to talk real quick about his prices, considering he's just tracing. $75 for what is basically going over a portrait, tracing over and paint by number. And he has like what looks like it's probably AI art for a half body, $125, and then $175 for a full body. He is out of his mind. If he thinks anyone's going to pay those prices, people probably have. They probably have. All right, so I wanted to talk about this. This is his other process, right? And his process is basically coloring over everything. And then, like, you know how you can like posterize in Photoshop, where you can like take a photo and then it'll like dumb it down. A lot of people use that for like superhero looking photos because it's very catchy. He's doing that, and then he is painting over the slightest hint of a picture, but he keeps the eyes there. Like, he doesn't do anything with the eyes. We're going to watch this. This is a little bit creepy to me. So right here, you see where he like draws in the eyes. Like, this is, okay, so for AI and people who trace, they don't have the right skill base to understand why they're tracing what they're tracing. So they're just tracing willy-nilly. And what they do is they over detail what they're tracing. So they'll trace stuff that is literally supposed to be colored with color versus just putting a black line there. And like, what? Okay, for digital, what is this? What is this black stuff up here? What is that? Okay, so we're gonna watch it a little bit more. Now, he like puts in all of her wrinkles, and then like you see where he just it's like horror. Like, a lot of them do this thing where they'll paint and then they'll like get all the slight little color variations and they'll keep it that way. But there's parts of it that they can't fix, so they'll just leave those parts in. And it looks like horror because he just left her eyes in the way that they were. Like, he just copied and pasted her eyes with it underneath. It's kind of a weird, it's a messed up process. Like, see how he's just going paint by number around? Like, just selecting colors and then coloring in underneath it? Ugh. And he was like simping over this girl too. It was kind of weird. And like, okay, if he was actually like drawing her hair like, nope, come on. Like, that hair, that speaks of like, I don't know how to draw, because look at this bottom one right here. Like, it just cuts off. He drew this girl too much. And we're going to go over this too, because this is pretty much similar to what he's doing. So he's just putting in the shapes from something underneath, because how could he know what the color is going to be like that? This dude's not an art god. Okay. And I'm sure that he found a photo and then he colored it green and then he posterized it, and then whatever that is, and then he just copied it and then just painted over it. This dude's crazy. All right. So I also wanted to talk about this thing that he's doing here. Get out of here. We're just going to have to do it this way. So he's literally selecting and drawing without, like, he's not doing anything. He's just making things up as he goes. You expect me to believe that he's doing all this crazy lighting and crazy shadowing with literally like no idea. He didn't. No way. You cannot make me believe that. Absolutely not. None of this even makes sense. Like, it's this dude is just tracing AI. I know this video was a little bit long and it's longer than my normal ones, but I just wanted to like highlight that there's different ways AI bros will attempt to do this, and there's artists who actually will use AI and then like because his art wasn't that great, and he would argue with me that he knew anatomy when he clearly was just tracing over everything. And I'm not saying like I give people so much leeway, like even to some degree. I don't think all tracing is bad, but I feel like once you're tracing over something one for one and you're not making any changes and it's completely different, that's different than you tracing and then it's like a one for one copy of the original. That is like plagiarism. So I was also thinking, I did want to point out that I saw this video about starting an art blog, and I don't know how you guys feel about that, but what I'm gonna do is instead I'm gonna add a Patreon tier to my Patreon. I'm gonna make it I think I have a $5 tier and a $10 tier. I'm gonna make a $2 tier if any of you guys want to do that, because what I'm also going to be putting over there, if you guys want to support me and my efforts and my passions, I'm going to be posting all the stuff I'm doing to work on my anthology book. I know that you guys haven't been updated recently on what I'm working on, but this is something I'm working on, something I'm very passionate about, and it's going to star 5 of my characters, and one of them is new, and I will be posting all the stuff that will be going into what I'm doing per day of working on, whether it be writing or whatever. But I think the $2 tier isn't too much to ask. I also wanted to talk about something else that I am offering. I do offer commissions on my VGen. I offer a world building critique on my VGen where I will look over one aspect of your world, and you can check out that over there. I'm going to be putting it in the description. And I take regular commissions for I'm going to be moving it up to $12. But it's basically line art with like a color underneath it. And if those sound interesting to you and you would like some art from me, feel free. We're also going to be looking at what else I can do. I will have a stream on Thursday. And if you guys want to donate during that stream, I'm going to be working on getting a sticker machine so that I can create stickers for this channel. You guys will be able to buy them. I might do a pre-order if I can get them done, but I'm going to do maybe one sticker for the channel. Like, I don't want to be weird or overcharge you guys or anything, and you know all that. Like, I never really put myself out there for things that I'm passionate about because I want to give everyone everything for free, but I do want to show you guys the things that I'm also passionate about. And if you care about my art, you can find me on my other channel, Nimisphere, where I just post my artwork. And I'm going to be doing a video about Lake Erie being frozen. And I'm going to be doing some artwork that, I don't know. But please feel free to go over there. Only if you're interested. Please, only if you're interested. Do not do it if you're just feeling guilty. I don't want anyone to feel guilty for anything that I make. Only if you really are interested in the things that I make. Okay? I will see you next time, and I'll talk to you later. Catch you later.